Let's turn our attention then to club matters, Mercer. A near 7-hour-long meeting for Manchester United's executives earlier this week for clarification on Erik ten Hag's future. You're sort of getting to the point where you're feeling a little bit of sympathy for him because you just want a decision to be made one way or the other.
I don't think he does. I think he wants to just keep him hanging in there. I mean, he don't want a decision. His decision is still manager of the football club. Yeah, I think he stays for a while now. I think he stays for a while. Always a big time this 2-week international break. Some people do get that bit of panic in clubs and go, we've got to change our manager, it gives us 2 weeks. I think this is probably telling you he's going to get a little bit more time. I'd be quite shocked if he didn't. I mean, unless they're looking for a manager that was already in a job, but I can't see that neither. So I think it's a real confidence booster for Ten Hag. I think they're thinking, we've come this far, we might as well keep on going. And it's not the manager, it's the players.
But for the players then, do you think it gets to a stage where because of this uncertainty, it gives them even more of an excuse to keep churning out the sort of performances we've seen so far this season and actually a bit further back before that?
You hope not. You hope not. They're playing, I keep on saying it, I still think they're the biggest club in the world, Man United. Not the biggest team in the world anymore, but they're the biggest club in the world. And I just think these players need to understand, they're playing for an unbelievable football club. All you can go out and do is give your all. I thought they were unlucky on Sunday at Villa. I thought they'd done well. But they've got to do that week in, week out. At the moment, they're a bag of rebels. You just don't know what you're going to get. And that's what their performances have been, I would say, for the last 2 years. At least the last 2 years where, this is the first time, Rob, I would say, when they've been under pressure, he hasn't had a give-me football match. Over the last couple of years, been on a bad run. We've got a team at home that are bottom 3. Got a team at home, haven't won for 20 games away from home. He's always had that nice game. He had it a couple of weeks ago against Barnsley, in the cup. Well, Barnsley need to win, and they win easy. The pressure is on now, but now the managers, now that they've met and they've said what they said and nothing's happened, I see him being there for a lot longer now.
But if they've been a bag of rebels for 2 years now, that surely is long enough evidence to suggest that he isn't going to be the man that eventually turns that round, isn't it?
I agree with you. But there must have been a plan at the start of the season where, the people that have taken over, the man who's taken over, he doesn't become a billionaire by being lucky. You don't just be lucky and become a billionaire. You're very clever, you're very bright, and you do everything very calmly. If he's looked at this and gone, right, well, this is a 5-year project. The way we've got now with the fair play rule, Man United are not going to catch up Man City and Arsenal and Liverpool in the next year. It's impossible. You can't go out and spend £500 million on players now because that can't happen. So they've got to be patient. And the only way of being patient is having a plan. And the plan is going to take time. Man United have got to start walking again before they can start running. And they definitely can't start sprinting yet. And this is what everybody thinks. And I think at the moment, the one thing that would worry more than anything, Rob, is off the top of my head, who's come into that club that they bought and you've gone, he was a major success. I mean, Anthony was £80-odd million. Are you picked up yet? Or are you fallen over?
I'm still here, yeah.
I thought you'd fallen over when I said £80 million. It was 80 million. I mean, that just sums it all up. £80 million. I'm looking at the players that they bought. He bought the boy Højlund. I like Højlund, the centre up forward, but he's a young kid. You can't put a young kid into Man United up front and go in not a very good football team and say, go on, mate, go and get me 20 goals a season. You can't do it. It's like, for me, it's so wrong. And that's me sitting on the outside. I just don't know what they've done. I would have put someone like Gary Neville in charge, like in charge of the recruitment. Gary's been at that club all his career. He knows football inside out. You put someone like him in charge, or Rio Ferdinand, or someone like that, or even together, and you go, right, we've got to build this club. What players should we be bringing in? But the players they've been bringing in, I mean, I keep on going back, £80 million. Who sanctioned that? I watched him in, and I don't want to be horrible, But I watched him in Holland. He goes down the wing, he cuts in, and he bends it in the far corner. And he's done it every week in Holland. You come to the Premier League, and every single fullback virtually in the Premier League is international fullback. International fullback. And they work you out, and they go, wait a minute, I'm not showing him on that foot. I'm showing him on that foot. And then you've got to come up with solutions, and that's what Saka does every week. He comes up with solutions. And this lad hasn't. And 80 million, you can't even say, you know what, we'll swallow one here and we'll get 40 for him. They won't even get 40.
Well, good news is I've not fallen over. I'm all good. This isn't one of your cha-cha-chas, Merson. We're all